palms of your hands together. Cup your eyes. It's very helpful, having applied some concentration technique, mantra, watching the breath. But it's important also for there to be a time where you release the mantra, you release the practice, and just sit and absorb or digest the benefit of the concentration. Because in concentration, there is still a sense of doing. And to really practice that releasing from doing, that's most helpful. The ongoing question that we bring in, once we have this knowledge, how to apply it? This is the question that you ask. It's not only when life is chaotic or when the events of our life are chaotic. We tend to want to apply it more at that time, but actually it's at all times. How to apply this knowledge, how to, as you said, stay connected. We tend to be very much influenced in our human condition by judging something being good or not good according to our experience and our preference. The experience and thereby our preference. So what we call chaos is when things usually are not suiting my preference. And so we always will have our likings, our preference challenged. And I think it's been a big teaching in my life to appreciate when that is being challenged and things are not going according to my will, not going according to my concept, not going towards my liking. So what we call chaos is usually, it's not going the way I want it to go. People are getting upset around me. They're just being themselves, but we don't like how it reflects on us, that it doesn't shine me in a good light, or it involves me to act in a certain way that is not my preference. Firstly, I would say, notice that. When things are going smoothly as opposed to chaos, is it just because it suits your preference? Because obviously our preference is when there's less demand on us. And when there's more demand on us, then we think, something's wrong with this picture. But it's been my understanding that when the demand is more on you, it demands more practice from you. Firstly, just recognize that. That's important. Secondly, how do I bring this into my everyday experience? It is just a matter of turning the attention again and again. However you can access any aspect of this knowledge, whatever comes to you. That's why I encourage you to speak in the satsang. I encourage you to read and listen to satsangs, because you train yourself to be your own satsang speaker, even if it's to yourself. You bring in the knowledge, bring in the knowledge. If you take notes, or if you have taken notes sometimes, look at your notes and take one sentence if you can't bring it from within. It is just a matter of be the one who speaks knowledge, which is to say, bring in the light. Chaos will not look like chaos under the light. Chaos is mixed with our sense to want to control, our sense to want to be liked, to be seen in a favorable light, to avoid pain, obviously, and to not only about ourselves, the ones that we are attached to and who we love, we don't want to see them in pain also. And that's a big part of it. But to realize that what is pain is a yet not fully matured way of seeing this life. Although we want to avoid pain, this is also working, whether it's the pain of the mind, whether it's the pressure from the demands in our lives, which is a kind of pain, whether it's just a kind of inner disquiet and sense of not being good enough. However pain shows up in your life, don't be afraid of it. It is an opportunity not only to practice, but to start speaking this knowledge to yourself. For example, What is changing? What is unchanging? One cornerstone of this knowledge. And bring this into your observation in the moment where you're trying to run away from chaos or calm chaos or change your circumstances or wondering what to do, this doing question. Just stop and say, what do I see? What do I know? I know this is changing. This comes, this goes. Who am I? Unchanging. So this, even if you just bring this point again and again and again, that is the practice. That is the practice. So how to bring this knowledge into your life? Practice. Knowing it's not just the things you do, it's the saturation of knowledge in your mind. And there's nothing like pressure, pain, discomfort against your preferences to really bring it out in you. It's like if you're thrown in the ocean and someone says swim, suddenly you really know how to swim. As opposed to standing on the shoreline just thinking about it. You're in it. It's like building a muscle. You can sit and think about going to the gym, but unless you go to the gym and you lift that weight, you won't build the muscle. So how to bring this knowledge into practice? Build the muscle, which is the voice of higher awareness in your mind. Talk to yourself. We have both roles. We play both roles, the ignorant one and the knowledgeable one. This is what the Bhagavad Gita is based on, this aspect of us as human beings. We are both ignorant and knowledgeable at the same time. We are Krishna and Arjuna. Who do we identify with? This is what the Gita is all about. Do you identify, I am Krishna, which is my higher consciousness, the voice of satsang, the ability to meditate and sit and tolerate challenging situations? Or do I side with Arjuna, who is sitting complaining in his chariot that I have no power? I am so weak, I cannot even lift my bow to do the task that I'm set to do. And goes in with all the doubt that comes, of course, in the incredibly ridiculous situation that he's in. He's faced with so much doubt, so much fear, and so much confusion. And how does he get out of it? Again and again, identify with your true nature that is Sat Chit Anand, Sat, pure being. You have the power of being. That's a kind of stillness that is within you, an unchanging awareness within you. Chit, knowing. This is the satsang. I'm not reading now from a script. I've practiced this, what I'm speaking, again and again and again. And you speak to yourself, the satsang. Sat, pure being. Chit, pure knowing, pure knowledge. The wisdom that is there that can be ignited and lived. And Anand, that which is beyond your personal preference. That is called bliss. Identification. Who do you identify yourself to be? The confused one, the disturbed one, or the wise, knowledgeable, ever-present witness self? When you identify as your highest nature, your deepest center or core of your being, that does know, that is perfect and complete, it doesn't mean that it doesn't take practice again and again. How do you really abide by that, identify with that? This is who I am. And, it's challenging. That's how it gets more and more established in the identification of who you are. Practice. A lot of people think that practice is what you do. Certain kriyas like pranayama and certain prayers, chanting mantras and all of that. That's helpful in supporting your practice. But the practice is know who you are. Ever present, ever free. Amram Ham, Madram Ham, Sat Chit Anand. Whatever turns you on to be inspired, repeat that again and again. Don't be afraid of a bit of pressure. Don't be afraid of feeling unsettled. something remains ever unaffected, ever settled. Even when your external circumstances are upside down, you can still access something which is not upside down. It won't be your preference, but it will unfold and develop a great power in you. And that is the most incredibly fulfilling. Much more fulfilling than having all your external circumstances suiting you.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. You just can sit and stay with that. Absorb that.